All right, so I hope you're all staying warm wherever you are. Happy Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow. Yeah, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow in the United States. So I hope you're gonna have a great time with your family. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And just gonna quickly flip through the pages since last week. Okay, this one was done last week. The palms and the kiwis.
Mm-hmm.
And then after last Wednesday's class, I went to another cafe. This is actually my second time at this Troisième Tasse Dirt Cup Cafe, somewhere around Papineau Metro. Yeah, again, this time I tried like a different way to sketch the interiors to include the staircase over here. It's a really nice point of interest here in the corner. And my cup of latte and almond croissant. I love capturing people in cafes as always, because most people in cafes, they don't really move a lot. So it's just easier to sketch them, to sketch people sitting in cafes and libraries. And their facial expressions are pretty calm and content. And then this page was done, this whole page spread was a very ambitious one because the interior was so inspiring, was this huge mural all over the interior walls. Lots of shades of greens and some animals and florals. Yeah, once in a while. And some spots. This one's like a baby eagle over here in red. And they have lots of plants in here as well. It's very warm and not too busy. Yeah, thank you, Karen. This one was really ambitious. So sometimes I do get ambitious when I feel really, really inspired. There's actually a lot to include, almost like the whole interior here. This is actually like a 180-degree view in front of me. Most of the time when I see just like a pretty ordinary cafe interior, just include like a 90-degree view in front of me, like just one corner. Yeah, this one was very inspiring. And the views outside, we have those heritage buildings of Montreal. And as always, I like to include my coffee and pastry item right there. Yeah, this one had a lot of fun sketching. This one was done on Friday. Yeah, yeah, it's like a cold and not too cold, and a gray afternoon, almost evening. So evening is arriving so early in winter, around 3:30 to 4, starting to get dark outside. And this one was done around Sherbrooke Metro Station, and I love this mural over here. It's like, I think this is a different way to do a mural. I think those artists, they were kind of pasting and collaging paper pieces to form different portraits of people, famous people in the world. I think this one is Salvador Dali, the famous artist. And then I think they collaborated with another group of artists by, pasting these smiley stickers on top. Those were a fun one to include. And this red brick building, it looks really nice in the snow and other muted colors. So when sketching winter sceneries, I like to include some warmer colors, not just these cold blues and grays, just to add more life. And yeah, this one was done on Sunday. So I did the asparagus sketch was my Sunday class, and the Campbell's soup can. This one is a vintage edition, like a limited edition from Walmart, just to celebrate Andy Warhol's artwork. And this one was like a banh chicken sandwich that I ordered yesterday for breakfast. No, actually for brunch. So I just eat 2 meals a day, like brunch and dinner. Yeah, and I still need to maybe fill something up on this right-hand side here. And let's flip to the next page. This one was done on Monday at Cafe Clark. So I like to focus on like 2 sides of my view in front of me. So this one on the left is the view outside the window, and their houseplants by the windowsill. And my cup of latte and a little chocolate chip cookie, as always. And the right-hand side was actually the view on my right. Lots of people in this cafe. And again, I love capturing the warm lighting in cafes. This orange yellow glow. It's a very mellow color, very soothing. And I'm gonna flip to the next page from yesterday. It's a very quick one in a cafe in Westmount, very close to downtown. And this one was getting a little hard because you know, the day just gets dark around 4, so it was very hard to see outside after 4 p.m. So I had to kind of speed up a little bit to capture the warm lighting of the display windows on the other side of the street and paint a little from memory. So later on, when it gets so dark, these colors all turn out to be like grays. So I had to use a little bit of my memory to finish the painting and to capture the feel of nighttime, nightfall. With this bit of cobalt blue here on top, a little bit transition, nice and soft. And yeah, that's it. That's my sketches that I did over the past 1 week. And today we are gonna do, let's see, make sure class is recording. Okay, so in today's session, we'll show you how to do this scenery of this nice brick house around Sherbrooke Metro Station. And you know, winter sceneries, most of the time it could be a little bit tedious because the colors are so muted. So we're choosing to sketch a winter scenery. I like to look for, you know, just could be a very little spots of vibrant colors. So for example, the traffic light over here, a really nice and vibrant light that kind of attract the viewer's attention. And also this green light over here on the right. And also maybe a slight little vibrancy for this bus stop. I think it's a temporary bus stop over here. And also this red fire hydrant. And maybe I'll include the back of the car over here. Yeah, so when we're sketching winter sceneries, or when we're sketching a scenery with too many muted colors, it's good to look for just little spots of vibrant colors, like these traffic lights, or maybe the backlight of cars or other vehicles to include. And also this red brick building is actually stands out better than these other light gray, yellowish gray buildings on the side. So when sketching winter scenery, I think red brick houses are really nice subject matters. They're really nice. They look very lively in the snow. Okay, so I'm gonna just get this reference photo ready. And I'm just gonna start with a very quick pencil layout. I think I'm gonna do the sketch on the next page over here. This is the very last page spread of my current sketchbook, and then that's it. Got a little pocket here to put any souvenirs, tickets and stuff. Yeah, just gonna work on this page and I'm gonna clip it so it stays flat. Right, just gonna sit over here. Move this around, just like that. Okay. Move a little bit this way so I can just see better. A little higher. Okay, so I'm going to begin with the main subject matter in here, which is the red house, the red brick house, and also the big tree in front of it. Okay, so we're not going to just copy the photo. As you can see, the photo is like just a rectangular shape, and for me, I want to just fit it in within this square page. Again, this sketchbook is 8.25 inches square. Yeah, so it's actually not 9 inches because I think last time someone asked me and I said it's 9 inches, but actually it is 8.25 inches square. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm gonna start kind of laying out the sides of the side and placement of the house, and also I want to include the snow on the bottom. Okay, so I want to kind of like have the bottom of the house somewhere over here. Okay, so I could include the snow around this area on the bottom. Yeah, that's great. That's nice to hear, Karen. Yeah, they have this on Amazon. It's the Speedball brand handbook art journal. So this area, okay, I'm gonna start with this line that defines the division of the bottom of the house. Then we'll have a pile of snow right here. Yeah, you're putting it on your Christmas list. Good. That's great. There are a lot to buy every year around Christmas. Good. Or it could be on your wishing list, so maybe someone else can get it for you for Christmas. Yep. And yeah, let's start making this division line so we know, where the house is going to be standing on, roughly on this line. And then we have the pile of snow underneath the line, roughly. Okay, and let's see, this house is going to be taking most of the space here, but still want to include a bit of foreshortened building on the left, kind of leading into a street. So I want, see, the left side of the house to be here. Okay, and the front side of the house to be like here is roughly a prism, right? So here it's lying like slanting down a little bit. Don't worry about the proportions. I think the most important thing is that we have to make 3 dimensions, make sense. This one is very much like a prism that we can see 2 sides of it. We can't see the top because we're on the street level. We can't really see the top of the prism, but the roof. Yeah, the roof is sticking up. That's why we can see it. The roof is almost like a pyramid shape. And we could see one side of the pyramid shape somewhere over here. I know, on a gray winter days, a lot of the shapes are merging together. It's a little hard to tell. So it roughly looks like this. This is one side of the pyramid shaped rooftop. Yeah, it's kind of somewhat looks like this, maybe a little bit flatter, because when we're taking a snapshot with our smartphone, some of the angles could get, distorted a little bit. It's very important. So it's very important to really understand what the 3-dimensional shape is and not just copy the photo. Because sometimes, actually a lot of times, when we're taking photos with our smartphone, some of the angles are a little confusing because I think the smartphone app is trying to make some of the lines looking more appealing to look at. So that's why. Okay, so that's the 3-dimensional structure. It's made up of like almost a cube and with a pyramid shape on top. And on the left side, we have 2 chimneys, which are also single pieces of tall prisms. So it's kind of like this. So it's like bending to here. Yeah, so this is actually like this. Bottom is not flat, it's like slanting line towards the top. This one is very much like this. And again, there's like slanting line for the bottom. It's like straight. Right here, it has 2 chimneys. Very interesting. And for here, in between the chimneys, we have a window here on the 2nd floor, and another window on the 1st floor. Okay, so kind of like that. So this side is kind of like going upwards like that. On the bottom of the left side of the house, we have a slope. Okay, so this street is actually a slope going down. So that's why this part of the house is looking a little bit strange, because there's a slope here. And we can see the form. It looks like this. There's probably like a 1st floor here. I can see a window. Okay, so this part is actually going down. Do a slope. Let's kind of finish this side. This is the curb, It's a little bit confusing because of the snow. The slushy snow is covering the edge of the curb. But that's okay. I think it's a pretty white one. I'm just gonna make this a little bit wider. Nice and round. On a pretty big area of snow. Here in the front, I'm gonna kind of erase this line here. Okay. And on the left side of the house, I just want to add like a 1, 2 buildings, very much foreshortened. So the line is pretty extreme going down. So like that, there's actually more. I'm gonna use very blurry ink lines to get these buildings in the far distance done. They shouldn't be like solid shapes, okay? So these ones are more buildings down the street. They're all pretty much like going down. And these windows are all aligning within these brackets. Like that, so we have very short lines. These windows are extremely foreshortened because of the angle that I was standing. Okay, so like that. Yeah, and also this pile of snow is covering this lower part of the building on the left. And here we have the fence. It's like in several pieces, in segments. Okay, we're gonna simplify into something like this. It's like coming outwards on the bottom, probably. And this part is surrounding the bottom of the house. So don't worry about proportions. You don't have to make it exactly the same as the photo. It's only a reference photo. Okay. Oops. I think something happened. I think my movements stopped. I'm gonna say. So my screen is freezing. I'm trying to get this. I think something happened to my phone. And no one's answering. Okay, let me try again. Okay, I think there's something wrong with my phone. Yeah, it's frozen. I think there's because of the new update. You know, my iPhone just updated to a new version. Let me just try to quit and join again. Okay. So meanwhile, you can just try to keep up with the pencil layout. If you can do a little bit more pencil layout, fill up the placement of the windows. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna quit. On again, I'll try again. Okay, it happens. It happens. Okay, so here I am joining again, probably because of the new update on my phone. I'm just gonna put this up here again. Thank you for your patience, everyone. You know, sometimes when this kind of technology, tech issue happens, you can just keep going with your layout or sketches, okay? Yeah, it's good to be independent. Yeah, all right, so here we are, and I am on the main screen again. And class is recording. Yeah, pretty normal. Have a look. Yeah, now moving pretty normal. All good now. Thank you so much, Taylor. Might be my phone. I think it's getting old. I've been using this phone for like almost 5 years now. And I just updated with a new iOS version. Maybe because of that, it caused this little tech issue. Okay, so now I'm moving again. Nice and smooth. Hey, and let's keep going with, okay, so the fence is gonna go all the way outside the frame. So I'm not gonna finish it. It's gonna leave it nice, hanging nice and loose on the very right-hand side. And there's probably another little chimney thing here on the top. And so these windows on the top floor, they're all aligning on the same. So you always have something to compare, right? So they're always aligning on the same level at the left side. So we have 3 pieces of windows. One is roughly here in a square, and there's another one. This one is covered by the tree. And there's another one here. So 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to erase the lines in the middle. That's nice and clear. Okay, 3 windows. And then we have 1 here. And this is the main entrance to the house here, roughly like that. And they probably have like a triangular little roof over here on top, roughly. And this window is very much covered by the tree. Right here. Okay, so now let's fix the front part. So let's see, the top of the snow pile is somewhere here. And then here we have the porch area, those little steps over here, because this color is so dark, it's hard to see. It's probably here. This is sort of like the steps up into the entrance area. Here we probably have the bushes. Just gonna simplify it with like blurry ink lines. Here I'm pretty happy with all the structures. So we're gonna fill these lines are gonna be very easy to draw directly with our ink pens. Okay, so here, let's see what, and the tree for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that this part is the top of the railings and the bottom of the railings. See the tree trunk, again, now you can compare. It's a little bit on the right of the entrance area. It's like divided into 2 parts. This is a very old tree, and the tree trunk is divided into 2 parts. So this is how it is like flowing upward like that. The 2 main trunk area. Yeah, and the bottom of the tree is just a little higher than the bottom of the railing. This is the spatial relationship over here. Okay. Yeah, it should be over the bottom of the railings. And then extend all the way upward. So let's just now just focus on these 2 main trunk area. And then emerging from the trunk, we have a number of branches. So these are the ones that I see, okay? So again, when you're drawing trees, don't worry about capturing every single branch. So these are the ones that I see. So I'm gonna lay that out with 1 line. Yeah, I'll just show it here. And there's another one here, of course, here, right here, this way. So these are the main branches, and the rest of them are like smaller branches and twigs. So we don't need to worry too much. Just draw as much as you can. I see 2 more here in between, 2. Just like that. So this is the overall shape of the tree's canopy. It's all bare now. It's winter. Okay, so no more leaves. But this is a really nice time for us to study the structure of different species of trees. I think the canopy, the skeleton of this tree's canopy is really, really beautiful. Okay, so let's get that done. Make sure layout. If we have the layout, and so here, let me figure out. So roughly we have the sidewalk somewhere over here, and then this area is going to be the snow. Okay, so this area in the middle is going to be the snow. Here is going to be the sidewalk. I think that's pretty much it. And this person, of course, always good to include the person to show the proportion of the rest of the things. Adding just 1 person or a car, sometimes it could just make You know, the house looking way bigger than it looks right now. So the top of her head is around the bottom of the windowsill here. So like her head, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the proportion for ladies is like 5. 1, so the head is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5.5. 5.5 units. The head takes 1 because it's winter jacket, and winter jacket is pretty long. Takes about here. Is her leg. Just walking slowly, talking on the phone. Her arm in her pocket. The other one is like holding the phone and talking. So roughly this is her body proportion and placement. Yeah, so that's our layout. And now I think we're ready to draw directly with our ink pen. So these tree details around here could be pretty easily done. Okay, just draw very loosely. So this tree canopy is like in an arc, and all of these branches and twigs are going upwards like that. And same for here. So pretty much like the rough outline on top of each tree's canopy is like an arc, like a rainbow. And all of these branches and twigs, they're going upwards and not exceeding this arc. Okay. And now let's start drawing. For subject matters like this, there's no need to go into any more details with pencil. All right. Just make sure, I'm gonna give you maybe like a 2-minute break for you to get this layout done. 1 or 2-minute break, and then I'm gonna start drawing. Just gonna drink a little water. Okay, so the bottom of this house is probably here. It's being covered by this house of snow, by this pile of snow. So here, the bottom is probably here. Okay, just like that. Just to know, it's good to know how the 3-dimensional structure is. Okay, probably here, and the bottom of here is right there. Yeah, this line is invisible. And yeah, just take your time with the pencil layout, make sure everything is in a good place that you're happy with before inking it, okay? Or if you're not sure about some details, you could do a little bit more with pencil. So it's really up to you. I think these are the very essential stuff that we need to do with pencil. There's no need to do any more details with pencil. And now I'm going to draw with my fine liner pen. It's a Winsor & Newton brand 0.8 tip fine liner pen. And I like to draw in a very bold style. I very rarely use like 0.2 or 0.3 fine liner pens, but those pens are too thin. And I found that if I use like a very thin pen, I tend to get caught up in too much details. And also the outlines, if I draw with 0.2 fine liner pen, the outline is not that solid, it's not that strong. So I like to use 0.5, 0.6, 7, or 8. Yeah, for very bold definitions. And now I feel like, yeah, so usually when I'm drawing a location, like I like to start with something in the corner. Usually this lamp or traffic post over here is right in between these two chimneys. I'm gonna go ahead and add it. The bottom of the lamp post is actually here, okay? It's somewhere over here. Yeah, and I know it's in between these two chimneys. Always compare. So this is the top part. This is the lamp head. And it's curving down, coming in between. So around here, there's a little interruption with the traffic sign, traffic signals. The red light is shining. And the other ones. And a little bit on the right is the pedestrians signal. So try to finish the other line here. And here we have another interruption of a traffic sign. It says that probably except local vehicles that should be parked here. We use a little squiggles to show the words. And continue all the way to the bottom. Yeah, so this is the foreground element. So when I'm drawing on location spontaneously without pencil layout, I'm probably gonna start with this first, this lamp post. And the fire hydrant. Just like his buddy here on the left. Very nice companion. A little hatching here. Yeah. So you probably have like something here, like a little black box. And then we have some more traffic signs on the left of the fire hydrant. So it's all a connection. I want to get these foreground elements done. So we already have the pencil layouts. It really helps us to know, where to put these posts. There's another one on the edge of the houses. They don't really stand straight. Yeah. It's like leaning down here. Here we have another one that says 30 because it's probably like a school district. It says 30. And it's about the same height of this building here. It is lamp post. So a box or maybe car parked over here. Just a chunk. Yeah, it's okay to have like small overlapping like this. So right here I have this diamond shape sign overlapped on the lamppost. When you're doing these smaller details, overlapping is fine. It doesn't look that distracting to look at. And I'm gonna add the back of a car right here. One extra wheel on the back. Yeah, it's pretty easy to draw the back of a car. But just a trapezoid shape. Here, you're gonna quickly just hatch it in. Here, the slope. So all of the bottoms of these posts are like a little lower than the top of the snow pile. Right here. Here's my lines is getting a little squiggly to show the form of the loose slushy snow. Okay, and you could use pretty gentle pressure. So here it's like so slushy and loose, sloppy looking. That's okay. That's what it should look like. Okay, yeah, very loose and sloppy lines. It's okay to be sloppy. You don't need to be tight all the time. Just relax. And now I'm going to start to add this lady here. She's wearing her hoodie. Like that. And her shoulder bending a little bit. Yeah, so when you're drawing people's, I think it's kind of freezing again. Yeah. Just gonna try again. Oh, good. Okay. Probably because, I don't know, because of the internet, because I'm about to cancel my internet because I'm actually flying back to Vancouver next Wednesday. I don't know what's happening. My screen was frozen again. Now it's back to normal. Yeah, just weird. It just never happened over the past 4 months since I got this internet. Okay. Yeah, sorry about the interruptions. Now let's continue drawing. Now, behind the fire hydrant, I'm gonna start just drawing very quickly of these sections of railings. So if my screen is going frozen again, just keep drawing, okay? Yeah, just keep drawing. You don't have to follow the exact same procedure as me, okay? Especially, yeah, I like the way that Taylor likes to, draw your own stuff sometimes. It's completely fine. It's always good to be a little bit more independent than always listening and following a teacher exactly. All right, so I'm just gonna focus drawing the railing here. I don't know, these sections are joined in this little strange way. One is higher than the other. Okay, so that's roughly what it looks like. This one is, I'm gonna finish drawing her. Whoops. This is her winter jacket. And this is her other arm holding the phone and talking. Yeah, we almost see, can't really see her face. So just one dot for the eye there. And her legs are bending, a very common gesture. There's the knee joint right there. So the human legs and arms, they are always divided into two sections. Okay, so the two sections, the thigh area, the calf area, the forearm area, and the higher part of the arm, they could be going in different angles. Just like Frozen again. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm just like keep getting this interruption. And it lasts for like a few seconds each time. Very strange. Yeah, just keep drawing. I don't want you to feel, lost. I think it's okay. I'm just like drawing pretty slowly, trying to finish these railing sections. And maybe because of the weather or something, because it's like snowing, it's affecting the internet, those towers that gives out signals. I'll get these sections done. Yeah, this is like a foreground thing. Okay. Stretches all the way here. I'll have tips coming up. Yeah, so this part could be done very quickly and loosely. You don't have to make perfect straight lines. Just when we need these parts are thicker here. Okay, so accentuation. All right, let's keep moving a little bit backwards. But before that, I just want to finish the curve. Yeah, and it's okay to draw a little sloppy just to show the form of the snow clusters. So the winter temperature, just like the temperatures throughout all the 4 seasons in Montreal, the temperatures are always unstable. So sometimes, the weather could be like let's say minus 15 degrees Celsius. And yeah, it's like super freezing cold temperature. And then the next day, the temperature could rise to like minus 2. So there's like a more than 10 degrees Celsius difference. And the snow might start to to start melting a little bit. And that's why it's getting slushy. It's all the same. It's like the pattern just repeats. It gets freezing cold and then it gets warmer again. The snow melts. It gets slushy. So yeah, it's never always the same freezing cold temperature. There's a garbage bin over here. So add a little balance. Like here, I'm gonna just kind of define the sidewalk, nice and loose. It's a very gentle line. Okay. Yeah, just done very gently. There's another overflowing snow here. I have these bars coming down. And little wrinkles or spots on the snow that's getting a little loose. Like that. Very quick squiggly lines. These are like little shallow spots on the snow. Snow is it's never just perfectly flat. A little bit over here. Okay. And these lines dividing the pieces of concrete slabs. Going this way, it really helps with 3 dimension to draw these lines on the sidewalk. Okay, so now I think I'm ready to draw this big red brick house. Let's see, there's any other things? Oh yeah, there's like a big black, probably like a traffic light so people can see on the other side or something. Or like electricity box or something. Yeah, right here. And let's start to draw the left side of the house. Yeah, this is pretty much like a vertical line that you can compare with the side of your sketchbook. So make sure this line is pretty much perpendicular. This line that divides the 2 sides is very vague. It's very hard to tell. It's roughly here. Okay, I'm gonna keep this line very loose and using almost no pressure at all. Just drag my pen a little bit. There's gonna be a bit of overlapping with the tree branches here, and then it's gonna come down right here. I might accentuate this area a little bit later. Now I just want to get the 3 dimensions done. This is the eave area. All houses they have these eaves with layers of lines. Okay, just get this done very loosely because I know there will be overlappings on top of these. And now I'm gonna get the rooftop done. Yeah, it's very quick on both lines. Just a bit of snow on top of these chimneys. So I'm just gonna move a little bit. Okay, yeah. And continue with this line. Probably like a smaller chimney here on the very top. And this line is very gentle. And we have like a full flat pile of white snow right on top. This part is in shade. There's a nice contrast here that helps with 3 dimension. Okay, now I feel like drawing the tree now, which is here. And as you can see, this branch is like waving at us right here. It looks really happy. It looks a really happy branch over here, wriggly. And there's another 2 more. Yeah, this is usually how I draw a tree. I like to, focus on the left first, on the very left, and see which branches are really standing out from this main trunk. There's another one. Yeah, just relax, and you don't have to be exactly the same as the tree, the real tree, because no one is actually going to check. Just make sure your lines are pretty organic. Okay. Start bending this way and that way. And then for here. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm not drawing every single branch or twig that's on this tree, just focusing on the ones that I could see. And it's not exactly the same as the photo for sure. That's how I draw faster, because I know that people won't know that I missed one branch or two. The only thing that we need to focus on when we're sketching is just to make sure that our things make sense in terms of 3 dimensions, and we really capture the organic, the energy of the things that we're drawing. The exact placement is not really, or the exact number of windows or branches, those are not necessary stuff that we should be focusing on, okay? Just focusing on the energy of growth of this tree. Is very, very lightly. It's still alive. It just lost all of these leaves, during winter. It's still growing. The inside is still pumping. Yeah, with sap. Yeah, very wriggly. And once you really let go of this thought that you don't need that, not being the same, you're gonna draw faster. This is the bottom of the tree here. Let maybe add a couple more branches here. Okay, the point is to capture the organic growth and the energy of this tree. Okay, and in between these two, I see a couple more. I'm gonna add some more overlapping lines. Is fine. We can't avoid overlapping lines. We have like a really mass of details here. Somewhat looks like this. Yeah, just really move faster. So when you're drawing faster, it's easier to show the liveliness of this tree. And if you hesitate, I feel like if I hesitate, my lines are gonna get very stiff. Okay, in between is pretty clean. There's no other branches in between here. I see one bending this way. Now I'm trying to add these smaller twigs now. So the branches are pretty much done. And now I'm just kind of adding in, I know there's like thousands of twigs. We're just gonna add almost from my impression, not trying to copy. It's so hard to copy. When you're copying, you have to focus so hard. So I'm just like glancing at the photo and try to draw for my impression of these twigs. If you try to copy, you're gonna waste you a lot of energy. So these are actually going down like this, nice and gentle. I'm also using almost no pressure, just dragging my pen nice and quick in between. Probably very thin twigs over here. Okay, so when I'm drawing these twigs, I move very fast. You can't copy, it's not possible, right? But what I'm trying to do is to actually moving along with my impression of how these twigs are growing. Some may be like draping down, okay? But most of them are actually going upward, spreading out like veins, spreading out. Very nice rhythm. Yeah, very nice rhythm on trees. And it's very soothing because I really feel like I'm connecting with the rhythm of nature. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The details for this tree. Now it's time to move on. Okay, and let me finish this side of the house, which is mostly being covered. So I'm kind of skipping around these branches. Actually here. Just like that. So I want to kind of add a little stronger accentuation to show the edge of the roof here. Nice and strong. And then the right side of the house. Now I really want to finish the bottom of the house so the tree, it doesn't look like it's floating in the air. This is the pile of stone. Yeah, again, it's uneven. And add a little definition, some more wrinkles on the snow around the tree trunk. Okay, now it is time. So the overall structure of the house is formed. And now I'm ready to add these windows very quickly. So again, I'm not trying to copy. The reason why I'm drawing so fast is that most of the time I'm not trying to copy. I'm just, looking at the window and try to draw this window from my memory. Okay? Yeah. If you try to copy, it's gonna take you hours to finish something like this. I'm gonna take a look at the window. Yeah, of course, is pretty much a square. And this one is half covered by the tree. This one is mostly covered by the trees, only showing a little bit on the right. And then I'm going to start to fill in the details. When you spend less time trying to copy and just take a quick glance, you're going to summarize actually better. Sketching is very much about summarizing and not copy things exactly. Let's divide into these ones and the bars of the windows over here. And again, as always, I like to color in certain parts of the window with solid black ink to show that this house has really had the dimension inside. Same for here. Pretty dark. It really adds a sense of depth when you color certain parts of windows with solid black ink. Let's start with this one. This part in the middle is pretty thick. Yeah, just get these done really fast. And the more you draw, of course, the more confident that you're able to draw faster. This is the arc area of the entrance. Probably looks like this. Now we have columns supporting this little roof here. There's one column. There's another one here. And the door frame. You have to color in these window shapes with solid black ink. Oh yeah, no, it's freezing again. Let's wait. Yeah, just keep drawing, okay? Just keep drawing. I'm gonna fill in some of this with, again, with black ink. And this window is mostly covered by the tree trunk. See just a bit of the white frame. This part probably look like this. Yeah, actually, this is not the same as the photo because I want to add a bit of contrast to separate the window and the tree trunk. So it gives a sense of depth by coloring in this window area with black ink. Okay, yeah, just like that. Makes the tree stand out better. And it is recording, yeah, that's normal. I'm gonna come here and add some nice details of bricks. It's very quick. Parallel lines and short vertical lines to show the brick texture. And this part of the house is of a different colored brick. Nice and loose. And on the bottom of the window here, there's probably like just bushes. So I'm gonna use very loose lines to get the feel of those bare branch bushes. Some more over here. Okay, and for the tree trunk, the texture is probably like this. Just add a few lines here. It's very quick and gentle pressure. Yeah, I think the painting part of this sketch is going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to need a lot of muted colors, like the grays, yellowish grays, brownish grays. Just going to finish this building here. And again, these windows are extremely foreshortened. Almost just like thin lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And for these details, I'm not going to worry too much about. I'm going to draw very quickly to summarize this part of the street. Yeah, I'm trying to capture the overall personality of this tree. The movement here, I have two larger branches and some more. Yeah, your lines could be very loose and a bit choppy. I'm gonna use these simple slots to show the definition of windows in the distance and buildings joined together. So just keep it really simple. Okay, people could already imagine these are probably buildings right here. Add some more tree branch details. There we go. We're almost there with the drawing. And let's see, I want to add a little accentuation for the curve. Bit of shade. Yeah, some more accentuation here and there, nice and loose. And that's almost it. Let me see if there's any stuff that I need to add to. I think I missed this little birdhouse thing, the little attic area. Yeah, just gonna add it on top right now. Cool. And for here, behind the chimneys, I just want to add some more loose branch and twig forms. So very quickly, they're all kind of going upwards. It's just like little hands, very thin little hands stretching out. Yeah, very quick summary of that area. And for this part, I have another tree here on the right side of the house that roughly looks like this. Okay, for the other details, it's not that clear, so we could just try our best to fill these details in quickly and loosely. And then these are actually the buildings behind. They add a couple windows. Which I prefer a bush here. Right, so there we go. That's very much all of the drawing parts. All of the lines that I need. Maybe in between the gaps here, I want to add some more loose twigs. Little organic shading here, just to make the house stand out better. There we go, and here is the finished line work. So let's take a very quick break. Let's start erasing. Let's take like a 3-minute break, and when I come back with the watercolors. Color scheme is very simple. Just all we need to do is to control the amount of water. So first of all, we need to mix our own grays, and also to control the amount of water each time to control the tone of grays to get a contrast. Erase this area. And let's take like another 2-minute break. Okay, let's take a 2-minute break. Okay, and so I get my towel ready for cleaning my water brushes. Move this a little bit. And as always, I'm using the Etcher watercolors. I've been using this Etcher watercolor palette for like 1.5 years now, and most of the colors are still here. I'm not running out. So if you're buying really good quality watercolors, these cakes, even though they look tiny, they could last for years. For those cheaper ones, the ones that you buy from like stationery stores, you know, those brands that you don't really know where they're from, those cheaper watercolor paints, they don't last very long. So maybe just like after, I don't know how many uses, those cakes just run out very quickly because they don't contain a lot of pigment, but a lot of fillers. Those fillers are probably just like gums or something like glue that sticks all of just a tiny bit of colors together. So what you're rubbing on those cheap watercolor cakes are actually mostly glue or actually gum. Okay, and yeah, so good watercolor paints, they could last for actually years. It could last for years. Let's see, here's a comment. Oh yes, I'll be loading the December classes very soon. Yeah, like today. I'm gonna do that today, and I'm gonna email you the links. Okay. I'm gonna upload the December classes for today. Yeah, today is already the 23rd. Yeah, these days are just going by so quickly. Yeah, the days are like flying, especially the past 2 years of pandemic. Days are just like flying by. A lot of days are actually very much the same because we're staying at home most of the time. So it's like the whole month could be the same, repeating day after day. But yeah, this year is much better because I've been in Montreal for 6 months now and going out almost every day just to make up for the lost days last year in the pandemic, self-isolating at home. So yeah, I need a lot more time going out. Okay, so here, let's start with the sky, okay? So when sketching like a landscape, I always paint the sky first because it's in the very back. So the process of painting watercolors is to know the layers of grounds, and I like to start working from the background. The sky is always in the background. And just gonna start with this. Gonna just wet the area first with clear water. We want like a really soft blending of different tones of grays. Okay, so this part, wrapping around the house. This is kind of like the negative space over here, wrapping around the house. Let's show you the grays that I come up with. There's so many grays that we come up with the combination of green. It could be any green. It could be Raven green, peacock green, any sap green, any dark tone of green that you have in your palette. Let's go and mix it here. Mix it with blue, like ultramarine blue or cobalt blue, very open-ended. Just work with whatever you have. So now I have a turquoise color, and I'm gonna mix a bit of royal purple. Okay, so now I have a dark shade of interesting kind of bluish gray. I'm gonna show it to you right here. So this is too intense for the sky. I never used this kind of intense gray. So that means you need to squeeze a little water into this puddle. You need a lighter one, probably like this. Or maybe an even lighter one, containing mostly water. This kind of gray for painting sky most of the time. This one might be sometimes for the shade of clouds, but most of the time this kind of gray. Intensity, containing a lot of water. Okay. And for this one, I want to just put the bottom of the sky with this kind of gray. Drag it. You could mix in a little bit of royal purple into it. So the sky sometimes is actually a more purplish gray, very lightly. It's not just water mixed into black. There's a bit of cloud over here that you can see in the reference photo. something nice to include. And then the upper part of the sky is very gentle, almost water. Almost water. This part may be containing less water to show a bit of clouds. The higher part, just keep our gray very much diluted. This is almost just water. A lot of times people are struggling with painting watercolors is that they don't really know how to control the amount of water. You don't need to mix so many colors, but you can mix one single color look very different by mixing different amounts of water into it. Okay, just gonna fill in this negative space over here for the sky. There, the cold winter atmosphere is in. Get a little stronger around here. I'm also mixing a little bit of leftover red brown into this puddle. So it's kind of like a slight bit of brownish gray to show the, those twigs when they're kind of like really close together, like feathers. They're making this part of sky kind of like brownish gray. Same for here, to show the density of branch twigs, like feathers together. And yeah, for this corner, I'm just gonna keep the sky really light and translucent. So now it's not a good idea to paint the rooftop because the sky is so wet, it's drying. So I don't want any color to come down, to run down from the sky into the rooftop area. It's gonna leave this part to dry, and I'll come back to the roof later. Now is a good time to paint the street, corner of the street. Now this time we don't need to feel guilty about using muddy colors because the colors are actually indeed very muddy. Yeah, okay. Muddy is actually good when you're painting like a specific landscapes, especially a winter landscape. You do need some muddy colors. Okay. Just gonna kind of get this. Sometimes when you paint all watercolors, because they're made of tissues, they always sort of curves up a little bit when you apply like a layer of very wet wash. That's okay. I'm just trying to bend this, make it flat again. Yeah. That wet the street area with clear water. Most of the snow is gonna be, I'm gonna keep it almost just like water. I don't want to leave it white, otherwise it's gonna look incomplete. Snow is never just completely white. It's always a slight bit of gray. Like get a little bit of this leftover gray. Just a tiny bit. Around the bottom of this small pile. Okay, and for the curb and the street, it's kind of like a brownish gray. So I'm gonna grab a bit of burnt sienna, mix it into this leftover bit of gray, so it looks brownish gray. Just gonna drag this around. Yeah, this color is slightly warmer than the sky. When you're painting like pretty much anything, you always need a good balance of warm and cold colors. Yeah, so this part of the sketch is a little warmer in color. It looks more inviting to look at. And at the same time, I want to use the same kind of brownish gray to paint these buildings far away. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to Karen. And I'll see you soon in December. Yeah, you're very welcome. And you can always check the recording for the painting process. Yeah, thank you for staying, Taylor. Because of the technology interruptions, yeah, I'm going a little slower today. And if you have to go, that's fine. Yeah, class is recording and you can always check back later. this part is a slight bit of it, like a yellowish gray. So I'm gonna grab a little bit leftover yellow here for this building here. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna take very long to finish this painting. Now I'm just gonna get the body part of the house done. I think we needed like another 15 minutes or so to finish this. Okay. Urban sketching usually takes longer than just regular still life sketching. And I don't like to rush it. Sometimes it's very hard to make it exactly like 1 hour, 30 minutes long. And I'm gonna grab a little burnt sienna and a slight bit of red. On the begin with the first layer, maybe a slight bit of orange for this part. Yeah, I feel like this part is glowing with more kind of an orangey brown. Because every single brick is of a different shade of brown, orange brown. So that's that part. Spread it out. And then this part is more of a shade of brown. I'll grab a little bit of raw umber. Raw umber and burnt sienna. Wet into wet. Yeah, just let these two colors merge together, nice and soft. Ooh. And for the bottom of the house, so all objects in the world, they're never just, flat with one singular town. Even for this brick house, from first sight, it looks just brown. But if you look more deeply, you're gonna sense more like orange brown, red brown, like raw umber, dark sepia. Okay, those kind of tones. It's never just singular kind of brown. So you have to be aware of that first before you're able to make your paintings look more interesting. And for here, you see, once we start adding the color for the house, this painting, it looks like it's very close to done. Yeah. And this part is kind of like a raw umber with a bit of leftover gray. And this part is very much like raw umber, deep raw umber, more like sepia color. Yeah, let's do it wet into wet. Yeah, this part is very unclear in the reference photo. I'm just gonna try to use this color to show, yeah, the stalks of the plant right there. It's okay to be mysterious in certain parts of your painting. You don't have to show everything clearly or what that thing is. You can just use a patch of tone to suggest what that thing might be. Okay, that's that. And for this part, we'll deal with it very easy. Just a patch of tone, maybe in leftover gray with a little bit leftover green. It's probably a bit of evergreen tree over here behind. Yeah, just keep it really simple. Here, maybe like a darker tone of brown. Just like that. And I'm gonna add a little wet into wet effect with a bit of burnt sienna and this leftover gray. The bottom of the eave, there's a bit of cast shadow from the eave of the house. Yeah, so this is wet into wet. As you can see, there's no harsh brush strokes. It's blending nice and soft. with the undried layers before. Okay, so now this house, it looks even more three-dimensional with this shade underneath the roof. And a bit more here. Some quick lines to show the layers of bricks using brushstrokes. And some more brushstrokes around here to give a sense of bricks, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Same for here. Just to suggest. You don't have to make things super clear. Especially around the corner, which is very close to the viewer. So this part needs to draw some more attention. A bit shade because it's prism. One side of the prism must be in shade, the other side should be brighter to show the three-dimension better. Same for this area, it's probably just a bunch of leftover grays to get these areas done. Yeah, just use leftover blue. The color of the sky reflecting onto the glass. We're gonna lift out a little bit. I don't want it to be like really solid gray, so I'm gonna kind of wash out a little bit. So slightly brighter. Okay. A shade on the top part of the door, and obviously this part of the roof is in shade, just like the left side of the chimney. I'm gonna use this leftover bluish gray, dilute it, just put it pretty evenly on the left side. Ooh, now this house is looking even more three-dimensional. Dilute this a lot, just use the residue. Gonna drag this along. This part of the roof is not just perfectly white, just almost water, containing a bit of residues of gray. There we go. Slight bit more on the very left corner. Yep, that's the right intensity. And let's see, yeah, the winter mood is really in here now with this simple color scheme. Let's see, now I want some vibrant red to spice it up. The traffic light. Ooh, the red over here. And slight bit of red dot over here. And the green, I'm gonna use lime green. Oh, so I think I didn't include that signal, that's fine. Gonna use a little bit of red again for this fire hydrant. And now just quickly to paint the silhouette of this tree. Super dark sepia color. So I'm gonna grab a little burnt sienna and a lot of ultramarine blue. It's like super dark sepia color. Again, as you can see, I'm allowing a slight bit of transition. This is kind of the subtle transition with containing some more water here on this side of the trunk. I don't want it to be like a completely solid silhouette. All of these trunks and branches, they're actually in cylinder shapes. On one side, it should be a slightly brighter in a subtle way. Yeah, this part is actually a large branch. this is also the advantage of using a water brush to paint. Okay, so when you're kind of pushing, dragging the brush around, some part is slightly brighter with a little bit of water coming down from the water tank. Grab a little bit here. Just now I'm using the tip of the brush to get these thinner lines done. Yeah. Again, every brush stroke is, it's a different intensity of this dark sepia color. So that's how, watercolor painters make their paintings more interesting to look at. It's a transition of slight different tones affected by the amount of water. Okay, yep. And so very lightly here, just diluted sepia around here. Slight bit more. A bit more contrast on the bottom with this leftover gray mixed with the leftover green. Oops, I think it's freezing again. It's gonna come back to normal, I guess, after a few seconds. Okay, back to normal again. Always having like hiccups today with the, I don't know if the internet or my phone's function. So here, this is very much done. So for the snow, I think it needs a slight bit of more contrast. Especially around the bottom. It's gonna use this leftover gray. And just to add these brush strokes. To show the loose form. Now it looks better. And now I am gonna add some more contrast around the curb. Again, I'm gonna mix a little more gray with turquoise and a little bit of purple and some burnt sienna. Around here. It's kind of like snow mixed with a bit of mud. Here around the very edge. Okay, so the curb is really looks like there's a relief area on the street, not just lines. Some more. Yeah, the curb is actually looking so brown. Just very quick punches of tones. Slightly more, just very playful here. And for her jacket is kind of like a brownish green. Put on a little leftover green here in the front. So slightly the transition of tones. The higher part of her body is a little brighter. And just paint her pants very quickly. Little shadow for her. And that's it for today's demo. This is so much fun to paint. I think I really captured the late afternoon vibe in this area. It's more interesting than a reference photo because I'm really seeing beyond the colors on the surface. So this is just the surface color captured by the camera mechanically. So as a human, you really have to sense beyond what you really see with your eyes and have more sensations in the colors. I'm gonna stop recording now.